6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madivala and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. Minister Dr. Bandula Gudwardena says that Sri Lanka is poised to receive approval from the IMF for the second tranche today. The voting of the third reading of the budget will take place today. The Singaporean Prime Minister appreciates productive discussions with President Wickremesinghe. The Minister of Fisheries says revamped fisheries acts to boost sector development. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa says that plans are underway to introduce new reforms to the prevailing education system. Landslide early warning messages are issued to several districts of the island. In foreign news, the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly demands Gaza ceasefire. In sports news, Manchester United out of Europe with defeat by Bayern. Minister Dr. Bandula Gudwardena says that Sri Lanka is poised to receive approval from the International Monetary Fund for the second tranche of the $2.9 billion extended fund facility today. He said the IMF Executive Board was scheduled to meet yesterday for the first review of Sri Lanka's EFF arrangement. The pending IMF approval marks a crucial step in the country's ongoing financial recovery efforts. Sri Lanka is expecting around $330 million as a second tranche of the $2.9 billion 4-year bailout. In March, the government received the first tranche to support economic policies and reforms. At the conclusion of the IMF staff mission to Colombo from the 14th to the 27th of September to discuss economic and financial policies to support the approval of the first review of the program under the EFF, highlighted the significant gap between government expenditures and revenue collection remains a concern, and that reforms in tax policies and administration are critical to bridging it. The voting of the third reading of the budget will take place today. The committee stage debate will take place today for the 19th day. Yesterday was the 18th allotted day for the committee stage debate on the appropriation bill. Heads of the Ministry of Investment Promotion and the Ministry of Technology, ministries and institutions were passed by the committee with amendments. In a cordial letter addressed to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong conveyed his sincere appreciation for the positive outcomes resulting from the productive discussions held between the two leaders in August. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong expressed his dedication to enhancing ties between Singapore and Sri Lanka across political, economic and people-to-people dimensions. The assurance of strengthened collaboration signifies a shared commitment to deepening the bilateral relationship for mutual benefit. In extending his well-wishes, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong conveyed hopes for President Wickremesinghe's good health and continued success in steering the nation's progress. The Singaporean Prime Minister also expressed anticipation and eagerness towards visiting Sri Lanka in the near future, further solidifying the commitment to sustaining and advancing the diplomatic ties between the two countries. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
In a significant stride towards advancing the fisheries and aquatic resources sector, the Fisheries Minister Douglas Devanand announced the enactment of a revised Fisheries Act. The draft of this transformative legislation has been forwarded to solicit opinions and insight from field experts, marking a collaborative effort to optimize the industry's potential. Addressing the media at the Presidential Media Centre under the theme Collective Path to a Stable Country yesterday, Minister Devanand highlighted key initiatives aimed at bolstering the fishing community. Notably, the encouragement of using battery motors for fishing boats was underscored as a measure to alleviate production costs for fishermen and address field-related challenges. Minister Douglas Devanand, while providing his insight during the press conference, expressed admiration for the unprecedented budget plan presented by the current government led by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The multifaceted challenges posed by factors such as the aftermath of war and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic have led to economic setbacks, causing the country to face considerable adversity. He attributed the rapid recovery of the economically challenged country to the President's guidance, leadership and the collective support of the nation. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa says that plans are underway to introduce new reforms to the prevailing education system next year. He made these remarks at a workshop held by the Student Parliament of the DEC Nayaka College in collaboration with the Law Students Union of Sri Lanka. The workshop on leadership and law focused on the significance of including law into the school curricula. The minister further said that the parrot learning method practiced in the education system should be eliminated. Instead of the by-heart learning system, the need of a new education system is critical in the current context. Most of the countries in the world have abandoned the written examination method. The National Building Research Organisation has issued landslide early warning messages to several districts of the island. These will be effective until 3:30 p.m. tomorrow. Amber alerts have been issued to the Haliyala in the Badulla district areas, Palindu and Ingiri in the Kaluthuru district, and Tumpane, Yatinuvara and Pasbaga Korala in the Kandy district. The same warnings are applicable for Apturalaya and Pasagod in the Mathura district, and Balangoda, Nivitigala, Imbulpe and Kalavana in the Ratnapura district.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
The Valikanda police, together with the Special Task Force and the Army, have managed to arrest 129 out of the 138 inmates by dawn yesterday who had escaped from the Valikanda Kandakalu Drug Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre on Monday evening. The Commissioner General of Rehabilitation, Major General Darshan Hettiarachchi, said that the Valikanda Police, Special Task Force and Army personnel who were deployed in a joint search operation since last evening are continuing their search of 9 more escapees. After getting information that the inmates who fled from the Kandakalu facility were hiding in the Somavatiya Forest Reserve, a special search operation was launched covering the area to prevent the escapees from moving out further away and to capture them.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
This is Watchlight.
It has been reported that the Kottavila Court complex in Mathura, Kamrugamur, was opened 2 years ago at a cost of 1,300 million rupees. However, there are no state or private banks as well as ATM machines in the vicinity of the court complex. The people in the area have pointed out that they are facing many hardships for not having bank facilities, as a large number of cases are heard per week at this court. They request the relevant authorities to provide bank facilities to this area speedily.
Coming up, World News.
In world news headlines, the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly demands Gaza ceasefire. Biden says aid standoff is a Christmas gift for Putin. A whale filmed swimming with Australian beachgoers dies after stranding. The UN General Assembly votes in favour of a non-binding resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Israel has continued its bombardment of Gaza with the main focus on Khan Yunis in the south. There has also been fighting in Rafah near the Egyptian border. A WHO official says the health system in Gaza has gone from 36 hospitals to only 11 in just 66 days, and those are only partially functioning. The US says Israel must put a premium on civilian life and give clearer instructions to allow people to avoid the conflict, adding Hamas must also protect civilians. In Jenin, in the occupied West Bank, 6 people have been killed, including 5 in a drone strike, the Palestinian Health Ministry says. Hamas broke through Israel's heavily guarded perimeter on the 7th of October, killing 1,200 people and taking 240 hostages, some of whom were released during a brief truce. The Hamas-run Health Ministry in Gaza says Israel's military response has killed more than 18,200 people and injured more than 50,000. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with US leaders in Washington, D.C. to try and save a $61 billion US defense package for Kiev. After meeting with the US President Joe Biden, Zelensky said Ukraine and the US needed to send a strong signal to Russia and Putin. Biden said Putin was banking on the US not coming through with aid and lawmakers needed to prove the Russian leader wrong. After meeting with Zelensky, the Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson said the White House is asking for billions of dollars without a clear strategy for winning the war war in Ukraine. Johnson maintained his party's stance that they would not support Ukraine aid unless more was done to secure the southern border of the US. A sperm whale filmed swimming among people at the Western Australian beach has died after becoming stuck on a sandbar. Wildlife officers had spent several days trying to guide the elderly whale, which was injured and severely sunburnt, back to deeper waters. Swimmers were pictured stroking the 15-meter mammal on Saturday while it was still alive, prompting experts to warn of dangers to both it and the humans. The whale's carcass will now be removed to minimize shark risks. The largest toothed whale in the world, the sperm whale, is a deep-sea feeder and is rarely spotted near the shore. Authorities were alarmed to find the whale swimming dangerously close to Port Beach in Fremantle on Saturday. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. The UN General Assembly overwhelmingly demands Gaza ceasefire. Biden says aid standoff is a Christmas gift for Putin. A whale filmed swimming with Australian beachgoers dies after stranding.
Development News.
The Urban Development Authority has reactivated the solid waste management project at the Aravakalu disposal site for the capital city of Colombo. The total investment for this would be $130 million. The Minister of Urban Development and Housing said that this time the project would be implemented next year under a private partnership project, and the Cabinet has also approved his project proposal forwarded in this regard. The construction work of the project is scheduled to be completed on the 31st of March next year.
Moving on with sports news.
Manchester United's season of misery plunged even further into depths of despair as they exited the Champions League at the group stage after defeat by Bayern Munich at the Old Trafford. Erik ten Hag's side, beaten 3 at home to Bournemouth in the Premier League on Saturday, needed to beat the Bundesliga champions and hoped that there was no win in the other group game between Copenhagen and Galatasaray. And even though Bayern were already comfortable winners of Group A, United were still unable to fulfill their part of the bargain on a night of bitter disappointment. United were already handicapped by first-half injuries to England duo Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, with news filtering through that Copenhagen were ahead in Denmark. Bayern sealed their fate by scoring the winner with 20 minutes left. England captain Harry Kane inevitably was involved with a deft touch to release Kingsley Coman, who easily beat exposed United keeper Andre Onana in front of the Stretford end.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Dove soap and Hellmann's mayonnaise maker Unilever is being investigated over its environmental claims amid concern shoppers are being misled. The UK Competition and Markets Authority says Unilever may be overstating how green certain products are. Unilever makes household names such as Cif, Dove and deodorant brands such as Lynx. The consumer giant said it was surprised and disappointed with the announcement and refuted its claims were in any way misleading. But the CMA said certain statements and language used by Unilever on some of its products appear vague and broad and may mislead shoppers. The watchdog also said some product ingredients were presented on packaging in a way to exaggerate how natural the product seemed, known as corporate greenwashing.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
The maker of the popular video game Fortnite has won a US court battle against Google, with the jury deciding that the search giant had operated an illegal monopoly. Epic Games sued Google in 2020, accusing it of unlawfully making its app store dominant over rivals. Hundreds of millions of people use the store to install apps for smartphones powered by Google's Android software. Google said it would challenge the outcome. However, Epic chief executive Tim Sweeney welcomed the verdict.
Weather report.
Showers will occur at times in the eastern and Nuva provinces and in the Matale and the Polonnaruwa districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northern province and in the Anuradhapura and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamu and the western provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Gala and Matara districts after 1 p.m. and fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters are likely.